What if I were to tell you that the No King's Day protests and Detroit Become Human were directly connected? Good evening, Alex Star Nation. You know it's serious because I have to pull out the webcam. So there's been another round of No King's Day protests, and I think there's been about 3 organized No King's Day protests at this point, with this being the 3rd one. And with every round of No King's Day protests, there have been people critiquing the protesters and their protesting strategies.
I haven't said anything about the No Kings protest because, like, what right do I have to critique people that are actually going out and doing something? But that video of them breaking down the gate of the ICE detention center, and then they just, like, stop and back off and do nothing, and then you hear a guy after, like, 25 seconds realize he has to spin this, and he goes, "Now you have to buy a new door, motherfucker." It's like, oh my god.
And before y'all get too excited, I am not here to shit on the people critiquing them. I do kind of agree with the critiques that are being made about the No King's Day protests, but I'm also not here to really shit on the protesters. As long as I can remember, there's kind of been this unspoken energy about protesting and imagined revolution to where the only way forward is through peaceful protest and making no type of disruption and getting the public perception on your side. I think this idea directly connects to the media that we have consumed around revolution over the past couple of years. And the one shining example of this being displayed within a piece of media that I can think about is Detroit Become Human. Do not get me wrong, I love Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human is a beautiful game. I actually have a Detroit Become Human Hank X Connor fan fiction that I was writing when I was like 14. It's on Wattpad still. Y'all go read it. I'll link it if y'all want it. Detroit Become Human, beautiful game, beautiful soundtrack, beautiful visuals, but it's also a beautiful piece of propaganda. Y'all who don't know, Detroit Become Human is basically a game about androids and AI. There are these robots within the narrative called androids, and they do work for humans. You can have them as servants. They replace a lot of manual labor jobs. And the main conflict within Detroit Become Human is that the androids start to become sentient, and therefore they want to be valued as humans. Androids are treated as second-class citizens, and there is a lot of tie back to Jim Crow era laws, which doesn't really sit right with me. Like, there's an entire android Underground Railroad, like, I don't know. They make a lot of hints to slavery, but I digress. Androids are considered second-class citizens. They sit at the back of the bus. They get treated terribly. They don't have any rights. One of the 3 main characters, Marcus, he is the leader of the android revolution. And Detroit Become Human is a choice-based game. Now, within Detroit Become Human, in order to get the good ending, you have to make the correct choices. And most of the correct choices that we see within Detroit Become Human are the peaceful ones. I specifically remember a scene at the end of the game where the androids who are protesting and leading the android revolution are surrounded by police officers, and they have the option in order to fight back or just to put their hands up and, you know, let be peaceful and let the cops take them, right? And within the narrative, the correct choice is for them to just put their hands up. It's just for them to comply. Another big aspect of Detroit Become Human is public perception. Choices that you make as Marcus leading the android revolution directly correlates to how the public perceives the androids. So if the androids make a violent choice, the public perceptions go down. If they make a peaceful choice, the public perception goes up. So the overall message of the game is if you are peaceful and you comply and you have a good public perception, you are more likely to get what you want out of the system that you want to change. This directly correlates with Kara trying to cross the border over to Canada with her fucking little android family. If the public perception is too low of the androids, they're not letting her over the border because they don't respect the androids as sentient beings. Detroit Become Human is not the only piece of media that drills this narrative into our heads, but it's like one of the most recent ones and one of my most favorite ones. Love Detroit Become Human. But specifically as Americans and a lot of younger Americans who have not dealt with war on their own homeland or injustice or big uprising in their lifetimes, like on American soil, I think the idea of being a peaceful hero leading a big revolution has kind of been romanticized for us a little bit. We kind of all want to be Marcus, you know, we kind of all want to be Katniss Everdeen. We kind of all want a hero to come to the forefront and lead a revolution, and we're just in the crowd and we get what we want by being peaceful and stating our demands. But that's not how it works, and whenever people talk about this romanticized idea of revolution, it's very evident that they have not dealt with anything like that in their own lifetimes, and a lot of their ideas of revolution and change through protest comes from media. And I think that's one of the biggest factors of why a lot of people going to No King's Day protests believe that, you know, being peaceful, working in collaboration with the police, complying, they believe that it's getting their public perception up. They believe that if they behave in a certain way, then these people will have to listen to them because they are complying. And that all just kind of boils down into respectability politics. You know, we're doing respectability politics. And that's because we've been groomed into believing that if we're peaceful, we'll get what we want. But that's not how it happens That's not how it goes. Real life is not like a video game or a book or a movie. I think a lot of people also think that change is supposed to be instantaneous. Whenever you watch a piece of media, the narrative carries you through from the start to the end. But in reality, change takes years. Change can take decades. And the change that we are fighting for right now may not come within our lifetimes. And in a world of instant gratification, a lot of people don't really want to hear that. So no hate to anybody who are going to the No King's Day protest. I think it is really important to get out there in your community and talk to people and organize for causes that you believe in, but I think we need to remember that real life is not like the media that we've been shown throughout our entire lives. Peaceful protest and compliance does not necessarily enact change. You should not care about how your oppressor views you because they are your oppressor. No matter how bad that you want to be shown as these peaceful activists just going out and walking for change, the administration and, the media, they're going to turn you any way that they can in order to make you look like the bad guy. So if you really want to change something, get out there and start fucking shit up.